Namaskar to all of you. I think let's begin the session because can't expect anything more. Being a holiday time, so thank you so much for joining. Even though the puja is on and all of you are taking really time out of your, puja schedule, so I'm so happy. It's difficult for me as well, but I'm committed to finish the course on time, so we'll move forward. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today we'll try to cover up something very critical for our next component of journey. Okay, so am I audible and visible? Just put the hands on that you are able to see me.
सर विजिबल भी है ऑडिबल भी
Wonderful. So data analysis, once you gather significant amount of information with you, how you're going to really get sense out of it? Because when we talk about, the entire cycle of data, it has got significant amount of churning and correlation of information, with, gathered from multiple sources, and then you start, correlating the information to find some meaningful, sensible information out of it. But even information is not sufficient, so you need to churn the information further, blend it with different type of intel capability, including human intelligence capability, to arrive at something which is known as actionable intelligence. So basically, data analysis has got a very important capability, which is the first is to gather the data and put it in a format which is understood by the machine. Secondly, you need to curate the data, clean the data, transform the data. And one important thing is that model the data to discover useful information out of it. And finally, once you have the information available with you, blend it with your human intelligence to draw conclusion and support decision making. If you are trying to find out at the end of it the all email ID for all the organization of Pakistan, which is there on the web page, to send a phishing mail to them, you should know how to take from all the .pk website, how to get your email ID structure, get it from internet. And this is not that I'll do it or you will do it. The attacker does like that actually. They'll first find out which is the target organization. Once they find out the target organization, they try to find out the pattern for the emails. And once they find out the pattern of the email, then go to the LinkedIn and try to find out the people connected with those groups. And then finally, you come to know about it, that how many people are there for this organization, what are the people are there, what are the posts they are in, what sort of technology they use in. Those information, they gather it from LinkedIn. And finally, if the pattern is known for email, suppose if it is a telephone, sometime it is a combination of telephone number of name, sometime it is first name and second name, sometime it is first name followed by some numeric numbers. If there is a pattern attached to that, they try to find out the pattern. Or many times, the information about the email is not available for sending a phishing mail. Try to find out the telephone number of the person, send a text to him, give a nice offer, and try to get the email ID, the official email ID of the person. And there are quite a significant number of phishing cases, which is known as spear phishing, targeted phishing mails, where the people has been tapped by bribing it or by giving something very interesting and then forcing them to submit a email ID and telephone number so that you can carry out an analysis of the pattern of the email ID for that organization. So data analysis is not a straightforward way. You definitely require some inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling tool, and for which ideal component is available to you is Python. And the Python provides you a real good capability to comprehend the patterns, do the index, find the train, find the relationship between the two entities, and provide you a significant amount of insight on that data set. Now, many times, the amount of data you collect, it becomes so big that parsing it through to find the pattern and meaning can be a bit challenging. But in the days of, NoSQL engine, SQL engine, it is quite possible to find fine-grained informations out of significant of data which is available in the public domain. Many times when you want to get the data from the internet, you can get it to fetch one by one data, or you can have an API key to find bunch of informations through direct interface with the connectors. Now, this application programming interface is a very interesting way to interact with the data set directly. Many organizations, they give you free API, and for getting the API, you need to pay some time, depending on the site you are looking for. If you are going to a paid site, it is better. The reason is the quality of information available there will be little better than the place which are available in the XYZ place. Because trustworthiness of those information is a bit challenging piece of it. So going to the right place with the right API is a good format to collect the data in a format which you can transform it in a very, very easy way. So data analysis is a very interesting process where you have to identify the information, collect those information, transform those, clean that information, and analyze those information through curation and transformation. Finally, interpret the information or, cull those information in a process which is useful for your investigation. And if you don't find it, go ahead and do identify some more information to collect and gather and clean and transform before you arrive at the actionable intelligence. One thing is very important to understand that internet, not everything is clean data. Many times data is purposely given to you to poison your information and your mind. So what you see is what you get is not a correct statement. Even the Microsoft, while they say Viswig, what you see is what you get. Don't trust that statement till you prove it using a technique, test, try, and trust. Then only, you find the right information and trustworthiness of those information. Your journey of information, curation does not end till you find out what is false, what is relevant, what is authentic, and what is the most likely true statement. And not by the bias, not by the whims and fancy, but rather it is very structural way you think through whether the data available is correct or not. Don't overborne or overlaid by the information which is coming to you in the first sort. Maybe everything is wrong. Till the time you test, try, and trust that statement, you need to keep searching for the truth as a Osint investigator. The very important information about the Osint investigator is that till the time you understand 100% with certainty that a particular information is trustworthy, provides no false information, it's 100% relevant, and it is an authentic place to get the data, till the time your journey of curation of the information and validating with many correlation of information to substantiate your hypothesis that everything is correct. Inaccurate data or innocuous data is quite possible to get during the time of open source investigations. And many times data is fed purposely to mislead you. And I'll give you an example for that. There was a massive breach of one of the intelligence agency of big country. And they knew it is a true data. So what they did, they manipulated the data and put it everywhere on the internet. Once they have done the manipulations of the data and put it in the internet, everybody is very happy that they got the right data, which has been leaked out from an intelligence agency of in our country. And everybody was happy with that information. Actually, the information was false, absolutely inaccurate, but people could not rely on it. After 2-3 years of exercise, they realized they have been completely misled because they found the data at the early part of the journey and they stopped further investigating the data and they missed the real target rather than they went ahead with a inaccurate and false information which has been purposely planted by the intelligence agency. I'll give you another example for that. There was a leak of something known as blue chip vulnerabilities. I don't know, any one of you remember that? Any one of you remember blue chip vulnerabilities? Okay, in very recently, 4 or 5 years back, there was a data leaked from one of the NSA, National Security Agency's, operators, individuals, and many of the tools which has been created for hacking by the US government has been leaked out. Now, actually, it was truly leaked out, and this information was available with many of the hackers across the globe, which led to huge amount of hacking across the world. Now, a very interesting thing I found it during the time of investigations that a similar data was lying in many places, but when you download the data, they know more about you than you know about themselves. And many times those target information will not work because the code has been obfuscated in such a way that it gives information to other you are trying to hack into the systems, and your total investigations goes for a toss. While the actual data, that tool was available in open web in the GitHub libraries, and it was very, very easily available. People were trying to take the data which was there in the newspaper as a link, and everybody was going to the wrong side. So when I, downloaded one such information, I found there is a callback happening in my systems, and trying to go to the market master systems, I realized that this is a personally created a trap, and it's a trapdoor. So I deleted all the informations before, I get, my identity get divulged. And then I found that, the real library was in the GitHub, which was very easily available. So unintentionally incorrect data or intentionally incorrect data is planted as a part of, diffusing the Osint assessment. So just be careful about that. Whatever is available on the internet is not accurate. Till the time you prove it is accurate, it remains inaccurate. And that is the biggest challenge of, open source intelligence. And that is the reason many old days intelligence officers, people, they get overboard and they think that, OSINT is a useless thing to do. While the contrary, the reality of the life is OSINT is still very, very powerful. And many times it provides, without incurring any money, you get significant amount of targeted information, which it takes years to build that capabilities. Many times, the information is old and not relevant for you, but, you encounter such information. I'll give you an example for that. If you have an IP address and you want to know about who owns that IP address, and many times the data is not available directly if the privacy has been taken care of properly, or many times it is available, but it does not reflect the true nature of information, because anytime to refresh the information, it takes 48 hours to sometime around 100 hours type of things, or 96 hours time of things. If you are investigating, yesterday somebody has purchased an IP address and trying to find out something, possibly you might end up about the past information and can mislead your entire judgment actually. So you need to be very conscious about it, that when the date, who is systems, when the information has been created, if that information is available, then you understand that you are going to the right path. And in OSINT investigation, sometimes you end up with a negative comments, while you want to prove that, you are 100% correct every time, forget about it. Your success is not guaranteed 100% time. So accept the failures and move on. Otherwise, what happens, when you are doing against your timeline, you are trying to find the information and you have failed to get the information, surrendering that, to your customer is not a bad idea, or, and keeping vesting on the same things here and there makes no sense. So you should know when to put a pause to your investigation, which is very, very, very important judgment as an investigator. Don't make any rapid judgment or forming an opinion without sufficient evidence, deep understanding of the situation. Because many times interpretation can lead to incorrect or inaccurate assessment and can disrupt your investigation 100%. So jumping to the conclusion is not the right way of doing the investigations. Never have pre-postured thought process which lead to gathering of information and judgment can disrupt your, the entire investigation many a time. Always test, try and trust. Never go overboard by the initial findings. Validate it, and validate it. I think validating it, multiple times till you prove the hypothesis is 100% correct, you should not arrive at the judgment. something known as bias, and which is inherent actually. Each of of us have our own opinions, own moral value, own ethics, own way of upbringing from the society. And those things creates a pre-posture or perceptions or a moral belief which make you fail to take decisions which are based on the fact versus the fiction. So bias can affect negatively your analysis of data. It may change you and you can hold the wrong positions or personal belief and can lead to disruption of your entire investigation. So even if you have some biases which you cannot negate, always think that, is it really true? Ask yourself that whether everything is true or whether everything is really, proven without an iota of doubt. Many times the biasness of individual can lead to wrong judgment. And that's definitely not a great sign of investigator. Investigator has to shun the biasness and pre-postureness. Inherent belief systems force you to take a decision. Don't go by that actually. वो हिंदी में है ना कि दिल की ना सुनो, दिमाग से सुनो. दिल कहता है कि बस सही है, दिमाग कहता है सही नहीं है तो सही नहीं. Till you prove कि दिल तेरा सही. Many times we end up with false generalizations. Unless a analysis, a result is based on the sufficient evidence and comprehensive analysis, we should never jump the gun. The last time it happened the same way, so this is the right information. Last time, scenario might have been completely different, and this time scenario is very different. So false generalizations is also a very, very difficult things to get over with. Just saying that, the country, many people do not pay the data, they don't pay the tax. That doesn't mean, the entire country is a chore. There are people who pay the taxes. So generalizations, can lead to false impressions actually. So it is good to be evidence-based and analytics-based rather than judgment-based actually. Unfair judgment or incorrect information is detrimental to the investigation. Correlation is something very interesting, when the two, if you find that, there is I'll give you an example for that, for correlation. Whenever, the oil price goes up, the economy behaves negatively in a country. And that is the same time when the gold price goes up. Now, if you think that whenever the oil price goes up, the gold price will only go up, it is a case of, a false correlations. Unless you have got more than 4 or 5 variables matching it together, single variable and correlations may have a negative impact on your judgment actually. So relationships are very tricky. Correlation test for a relationship between two variables has to be established beyond doubt. Then only the correlation is correct. Otherwise, it's good to correlate with multivariate data sets just to make sure that, the failures are not there in the correlations under any circumstances. So just because one thing goes up, another thing rises at the same time, same rate, it does not mean that one caused the other's behavior. Again, it is a generalization that it will happen. It may or it may not happen. There may be some other factor which is influencing the two parameter going up together. There is a concept causality, it's a very interesting concept. It's a cause and effect relationship where change in one variable, the cause, result in the change in another variable, that is effect. So it's a very interesting thing that, if two group of people are doing exercises, 10 people are doing exercises, and another 10 people are doing exercises, and they are being monitored for their weight loss. There is a daily routine has been given to both the teams. They have to follow the diet, water, and everything. And one group, the weight loss happens correctly. Another group, it goes up. So after the experiment, the researcher compares the weight changes between the two groups. If experimental group shows a significant decrease in weight compared to the control group, it suggests a causal relationship between exercise and weight loss. But there might be some other parameter also, that one is a controlled diets, another is non-controlled diet, but there may be some other parameter which is actually taking the weight up. Maybe regime of exercise not equal, or some people's metabolism is faster than the other people's. Age group of the people may vary. One group, the age group is 20 to 30 where the metabolism is very high. Another group is 40 to 50 where metabolism very less. With the same level of food, the weight loss might happen in one group and might not happen in another group. So causality is a interesting, cause and effect is an interesting study, but just be careful about the false propositions, and which is also case of false dichotomy. Never land up in a position of two extreme position. 0, 1, nothing is there in the life except your binary numbers in the computer. There will always be middle path somewhere. So never have two extreme choices. Either it is there or it is not there. That sort of false dichotomy can lead to disruption of your entire investigation. Dear boys and girls, these are some very simple techniques to avoid the mistakes when you do the investigation. As I told you earlier also, when you do the investigation, you find no data, or you get the data which looks like a target persona is a fake persona. That sort of information, you require a lot of deep dives around that to find the real one. If you are encountering, someone who is anonymous, digital footprint is 0, and whatever prints has been created as sock puppet, it's not that easy to break the loop. You'll have to go much deeper to it to find the real person behind that actually. So there is another, this is a very interesting one, that how to harvest the data. Now, harvesting the data from the web is not that easy. It is not as simple as that, you go and scrap the data, copy paste the data and put it there. There are websites, where you cannot run your right clicks. There are websites where you cannot do the copy paste. There are places, where you cannot enter inside the web pages to see what is there. So very difficult. So you'll have to find the ways and means to really arrive at the correct information. And many times harvesting the data means, significant amount of homework. And I can give you many such example for that. Let me show you something which I found it today. Give me just 1 second. Let me search for that. Take this example. You are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
And I say Prism program, tap to use data. You see, when I am clicking it here, it's allowing me to highlight it. So if it allow me to highlight it, I can, always take this information, copy and paste using a script. Okay. So you have the full data available and you can download this information. You can see that everything is downloadable. Clicking is possible. Same time you go to certain website, try to copy it. Nothing is there. Right click, no right click works. Okay. No right click works. Okay. Only the link wherever is there, you can go to the link if they have given you the link. Otherwise, you cannot neither copy nor paste. Nothing. Only links are there where you can go, but you cannot copy anything from this page. Now, if you have to take the information out of this, it's not that easy. Is that right? So what you will have to do technically, you have to do the print screens. Is that right? Now I have done the print screen. So I'll go to the page. I'm just giving you the steps, how it is done. All these things can be done through scripts. Okay. I'm just doing it manually for you. And then I'll save it, save as. Okay, this PC, Bharat GPT, test 1, 21. I'll send it as a PDF. Okay. Now I have saved it somewhere. Let me take you to there. Okay. I have saved it here. Now in this page, I can't do anything here. No cut paste something. Okay. So now what I'll do OCR. Okay. Now I can copy paste everything from here, copy, I can take it to Notepad. I can paste it here. You are able to see my screen? So many times, what you are doing it straightforward can create a block for you. So you need to know the scripts that how to do the print screens. Many times when you do the print screens, the other person comes to know you are doing the print screen. So how to do the print screen without alerting the other side? There are games, and you need to know how to bypass those things. With the script, you can do it very easily. Very easily you can do. So many times getting the information in the right format, saving it in the right format file, which can be referred to later on, can be organized later on, can be converted into report later on. All these evidences has to be machine readable. So the journey is not straightforward. Many times you will have to do the little bit of bypasses like this. What I have done it, I have done it manually, but you have to automate the entire screens.
Sir, but how to make it that print screen is not detected? Please tell us.
Can you speak little loudly?
Sir, how to prevent detection of activity of print screen on a regular basis is happening?
Yeah, so there are ways and means for that. We'll cover it up. Okay. There are ways and means for that. When you are doing, going to the site of a hacker and trying to cull the information through the websites, they manage it that, somebody is doing the screen printings. And there are small, JavaScript components are there, which runs in your systems when you are accessing those information. And that JavaScript sends that print screen commands are being run. Now to bypass it, you have to block the JavaScript. But you need to be careful about it. Now it may be JavaScript, can be some other scripts. You need to find it out how it works, how the page behavior is. And you will have to learn it. And these are all come from the learning and experience. Nobody can teach you in the classroom like this. Okay, that requires significant 1 year of training around it. So whatever I learn, I'll teach you in 1 year time. So it takes time to pick the threads, but there are ways and means for that. And there are, you can find it out in internet how to bypass that. You will find 20 ways of doing that. So harvesting the web data is not that simple, but it requires significant amount of smart work. You see, whenever you are using, the browsers, the risk of, attacks are very high. So I always recommend that don't use browser. Go through the scripts and use it. As much script as possible. One more thing is that, which is very interesting, let me show you this. So many times, instead of here you may not find anything, but when you click right click and inspect, technically you are able to see a lot of information here on the right side of me. Is that right? So you can find a lot of smart information in this place: the computed, the layout, event listener, DOM bricks, properties. And many times you can also find some information here. Okay. So many times the information you can get it from here, from consoles, from sources, from network. A lot of informations are here. More you delve into it, you will understand that. But for that, you need to understand the HTML, DHTML, JavaScript, .NET in a very detailed way to understand where these informations are there, and from there how you can take the information out for your own benefit. So a lot of informations are there. You can say JS is there, CSS is there. Now media is there, font is there, docs are there. More information you want to search, you will get it. So web harvesting is not a straightforward, but it definitely provide you a good insights around that how you can get the information, and you will learn it, over a period of time. To remain safe, using a proxy web applications, using command line tools, using a script, using an API, using cache content, make it safer actually. And I've told you that, sometime the site can track us and host malware that can exploit your systems. So when you're trying to download anything, malware will also get downloaded. So your system has to be very spick and span. You should know how to block those malwares. If there is a droplets coming to your systems, in addition to what you are downloading, you should be able to detect it, respond to it in real-time basis. And you have to do a lot of testings before you arrive at, such websites. So just be careful about it. This is a very interesting one. I don't know whether you have ever seen it. Let me. So there are these two sites. So there are a lot of way you can find it out. if you want to carry out a perform an on-demand scan of the site, you can use urlscan.io. Okay, it's a paid and unpaid both. You can try it. That provides you a very good information and good summary page that tabs across the top window that will highlight other data and provide you a good picture of how target site is implemented, what technology has been used, how the pages has been planned, what are the control has been built in, what sort of tracking they are doing it, all those information. But there are two more sites are there, builtwith.com, and toolbar.net. Toolbar.net, it's when you are using it, be careful because it sends the payload actually. So don't use this one. Second one, don't use it. Avoid it. You should know how to block that. I can do it, but I can't do it in this system, so this will puncture it. Okay, but you can have a look of that actually. But it is always good to use command line tools. And very interesting, the wget and curl are built-in command of Linux, but you can use wget and also the curl command. You can use it from Python also. So Python has got libraries, curl libraries and wget libraries, which you can use it. So if you want to download images, video, text stored locally on the analyst computer, you can download it and copy it in your systems. Now, many times they don't allow you directly. Then in that case, you have to do indirect way. Sometimes you have to do it with API, you will have to buy it. If it is important, then you buy it and do it. But when you buy it, your identity get divulged. So unless you have got, identity, which has got, email address, which is a fake one, and then you have got Bitcoin through which you are making the payments, then chances of disclosure is less. But when you buy the API, be careful that what API buying, which ID you are buying and other things. wget is a smart tool. You need to learn wget and curl in Python as a libraries, and you can explore the maximum potentials attached to that. Curl and grep, these are the two control, do these two small built-in Linux program is sufficient for running the entire Osint operations. And both of them are, like a Gita and Mahabharata size of book. How to use curl, how to use grep. It will good, if you can explore your hands on curl and grep in Linux also. Not only on Python, but also on Linux. But you can use Python, library, which is very similar in nature. A wget is like scratching everything. So many times it gets blocked also. But curl, you can have a targeted information. You want video, particular type of video, they will get the videos. You want a particular information out of that, along with curly braces or like that, you can get it. You want to information bracket between the caret, you can get those information out. So curl is a very targeted way of searching and getting downloaded. By default, it comes in the most of the Unix, Linux and Mac OS system, but it has got equivalent in the Python as a library and you can utilize that. And then there are a lot of free tools. So grep, I told you, grep is free, built into the Mac OS and Linux. And it's a command line terminal tool for finding contents. And grep is really powerful, I can tell you, boys and girls. What I have seen, the grep is immense potential actually. Curl and grep can close all your learning in Osint if you can master those two commands. But half the life is less for mastering those commands, I can tell you. Unlimited potential for these two commands. If I write a book, it will go in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 pages actually. Whatever I have little learned on the grep and the curl. Unlimited potential, I can tell. So there are also, different type of in Windows you have got SIGWIN applications or the Linux subsystems via the GNU Win binaries. You can use it. In grep you can work along with regex. Now grep is also available in Python. Regex is already available in Python. You are already aware about it. If you want to find a complex pattern, a combination of regex and grep works beautifully actually. And you know that how the regex work, is that right? That which are the first four you want to exclude it, which particular data you want to take it, which particular pattern you want to match it. All those things are possible through the regex. One more another important thing is that you should know how to convert many time PDF to text. Okay, it's not a straightforward way, but there are commands in the Python where the PDF information gets converted into text. Now, if the PDF is is a without any security, then it is much easier to do it. But suppose if it is a PDF is having a password, then what you will do? It's difficult to crack it. Then you need to learn offensive technique, which is known as brute force or password cracking, tools. And that's a very complex one. If it is more than 14 digit, you require very different type of systems. And if it is a simple one, you can crack it. And if you know the person who has sent you and his patterns are known to you, then you can use those patterns. So you can do brute force and do it, but difficult to find in all circumstances. But anyway, OSINT, your scope is limited to what is open. Is that right? So PDF to text, there are, libraries available. And the book I have shared with you on Python, the first one that I've shared with you has got those commands built in there. And again, if you want to search within the PDF, you have got PDF grep tool. You can use grep within the PDF using the command PDF grep, and you can search on that actually. You don't need to find everything, but along with the grep, you can go and extract the information. And once the information is collected, grep can parse and we can start searching our content. Regex, the amount of 2 days you have seen, and I think you need to go through multiple times to understand the concept around that, is a very powerful library and very powerful technique within the Python. It really provides you a significant amount of opportunity of non-intrusive searches, targeted searches, and getting the right information out of that with regex actually. So learn it how it is done. It's a very important component, particularly for it saves huge amount of time. I can tell you, instead of searching everything, should search only with the targets. I'll tell you that crypto libraries, when you do the forensic investigation, you cannot search everything on the systems. But if you want to find the crypto libraries, the private keys in the particular systems, whether the private key is there, if you know the content, you can put that regex components and how the crypto libraries are passwords are kept, and you can search in the system in few seconds. If it is there, it gets you. If you want to have a credit card number from your system and you are doing the investigation, regex can be a very interesting case for that, because there is a pattern for credit card. And there is algorithm attached to that. If you know the algorithm, then you know which company uses what sort of credit card numbers. First 4 digit, you can define it. Whether first 4 digit is from Amex or MasterCard, you can find it out. And that becomes part of your OSINT investigation. You have learned, regex. Same thing, you can use grep to find out, a very interesting email ID from the anywhere in the systems. If you want US phone numbers, you exactly know how it can find it out. And grep can be a good, along with regex, can become a good way of finding out this information. If you want some international phone numbers, there are ways to find it out. First 3 digit is the country code. You can find out and search whether these numbers are available anywhere. And then there are a lot of tools which are outside our syllabus. But the best thing is scripting with Python, Ruby, or PowerShell. PowerShell is a built-in library in Windows. You can utilize that. But Python and Ruby is definitely a great tool. Nowadays, it is Golang also. You can use Go language also for finding a lot of things like this. And there are a lot of tools, there are APIs, you should know how to integrate the APIs with Python. It's very important to do it, particularly when you're integrating in the websites. It is good to, integrate with Python in a very nice way. And there are very small steps are there to find that out. It's not a very big, Python has the beauty of libraries. You can use those library and curtail many of the steps of programming actually. Sometimes it is risky as well because you don't know what is there inside the libraries. And if the library has been altered, tampered, backdoor has been given, then it becomes very difficult to find out and your identity can be divulged. Understand XML and JSON because these two are the common format for getting any data out of the system. And normally, when APIs are used, they give you the information either in JSON or an XML format. And you should know how to parse it and get the information out of that in CSV or any other format you want. There are tools like, CyberSafe is an online as well as an offline tool. You can utilize that and you can integrate CyberSafe tools along with, Python. It has been written in Python actually. So it's a free, amazing tools. It helps you do data transformation extraction needs. If you want to, extract the email ID, you can do it, with CyberSafe. Very easily you can do it. You want, IP addresses to be taken out from the web pages, you can find it out. It can even cover the base64 encoding and decoding, which is one of the base for, any HTML and DHTML capabilities. You want to, do a brute force and create MD5 and SHA type of, hashes, you can create with the help of CyberSafe. Even you can cover, extracting EXIF metadata files from any, of the metadata which is available in any format, in PDF format or JPEG format. Those metadata you can extract it from here. But equivalent is always there in Python. Use EXIF file, for Python to extract the information. Yesterday, I think Santoshji has shown a very interesting, program around that. It has been written and we'll share you the Py file. You can have a look of that and improve on that actually based on your capabilities. One very important thing is to API. And there are a lot of APIs which are available in GitHub libraries, okay? And you must know where those APIs are. And if you have the list of APIs which are freely available, then your journey with Python scripts becomes much easier actually. Like, API for extracting any information from internet. API for extracting the human references, names, email references. Many such things are available on GitHub free library. You should know how to use the regex searches on GitHub library to find out those information, which is known as, GitHub dorking. GitHub dorking steps, I'll just post it. It's not a very long laundry list. Around 30-40, styles are there, which you can, those stylistics you can use and do it. I'll I'll paste it at the end of the session today. I'll paste you the basics of GitHub docking steps. Okay, so that will provide you. But many of the sites requires the API keys, and you should have it. Like if you are searching in VirusTotal, you can search one by one. But if you have API, you can search millions. It provides you an API key. Suppose if you want to go and do the searches of Twitter connected with you, for blue tick accounts, you can take the API from Twitter, and anyone who is connected with you, you can download those information in readable formats. There are a lot of free APIs are available along with that, actually. And you need to search for that. These APIs are available. Many times the API keys are available, which comes, I've seen many times Multigo API, many times I've seen the Sodan API, which is working for 3-4 days. I searched on, and then suddenly I found it has been blocked. Then another one has come. So from open source, you will be able to find with the hacker community many of those APIs. But when you are using the APIs and trying to misuse that API, paid API from somebody else and misusing it, just be careful. The law enforcement agency might land up in your door. So always take the precautions and use it for testing purpose. Otherwise you buy the API if there is a need for it. Learning how to do that, sometime you can do it, but use all the protections, zero digital footprints style for accessing the information. Try to become as anonymous as possible. One very interesting thing is that there are many sites, they provide the cache data. There is something known as CDN, content delivery network, where the cached information are kept to ease your journey. Many of these cached informations are easily accessible to you. Many of them are paid, or many of them are not accessible to you. But there are many private organizations, they do the caching and they keep it there. It's like a archive.org, and there is many archive.orgs, on the earth. Search for them. This is one of the tasks I'll give it to you. Use the Carrot 2. Any one of you have heard the word Carrot 2? There is a concept which is known as there is something known as search engine aggregator. What it does, there are thousands of search engines, Carrot 2 actually, when you make the searches on that, it goes to various, search engine and collect all the information and keep it in one place. It looks like this. Let me show you that. Okay. Okay. Now suppose search. Hacker group. Now you'll be surprised that what you are looking for, you can find it out, and it has technically given you a summarization of that. Like a shadow broker is one of the group, and you have got 4 files here. Okay, thesis name, testing and applicable hacker typology methods, comparative case study of fancy bear and shadow brokers. Now you can go and find this document. Just be careful when you go to these sites. I'm not taking any protections and going there. It might or might not open it. Okay, it got open. Digital repository, Charles University. Okay, so you have got the documents available, and you want to know more about fancy bear, shadow broker, cyber threat, keyword searches, and then you can find those information. So here it is: text, space, abstract, And there are a lot of information there. So you need to go and search for that. So it's a very interesting way of knowing more about an information through a search aggregator. Okay. You can find out something, hat hackers, 4 docs, security 5, Lazarus group 3 doc, government 6 docs, vice or virtue exploring dichotomy of offensive security engineer and government hackback policies. A very interesting one. Civic hackers use the experience to Seattle to open municipal data program. So in one side you have what? You have got one side, you have got the information. So you can click any one of them and you will find dark web. Such sites are hacked by anonymous affiliate hacker group, GhostSec, and then Prozac, RubelSax, and then you can go to the, some document related to that. It's taking you to, okay, 10 most notorious hacker group of history, Cobalt. So there is an interesting, detail, 10 top notorious group, and you have got some information about them. Lazarus group and some other. So there are ways, and let me not accept this and let me close this because I don't want to touch any one of those footprints here. So there are a lot of, search engine aggregators are there, which you need to find it out. Okay. Boys and girls, any question, so far?
No, sir.
Is it making sense, providing you some insights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wonderful. So there are 2 websites which I have already talked about, archive.org and archive.is. This website caches a full copy of the website, including scripts and images. Any website which has gone off the track, which has been deleted, a copy of that you'll always find in these 2. Okay. There is no question it will not be there. It will be 100% will be there, even though all the archives. So what the hacker does, I'll tell you, when you do the investigations against the hackers, they will create a fake websites. They'll create a trapdoor for you, and then they will delete the sites and then they vanish. But if you have any trace of those sites, you can always find that in archive.org. And then many times it divulge who has created, which country, which machine, where it has been hosted. All those informations you'll be able to find it out. Some footprints you can find it out from here. You might not find the complete footprint for anonymous, but at least some footprint you will be able to find it out. So there are a lot of search engine, it is not just Google. And I can show you tomorrow the search engine list. If you want to do the search engine only for people, there are more than 200 search engines are there. If you want to search only for photographs, there are more than 50, hundreds, search engines are there. If you want to search the education content, there are more than hundreds of websites are there, search engines are there. But there are some famous search engines like Baidu is there, Yandex is there, Google is there, DuckDuckGo is there. So there are, a way to find that out actually. Okay. Archive.org is a very interesting one that maintain the copy of cached content across the year. You can use these tools to grab all previous version of the websites. A very interesting one. Then there is another one, archive.is. It is a very interesting site, and it's a privately funded site है, individual ने किया है इसको. That makes full back of a website, text, image, and JavaScript, everything is available. But archive.org is a much bigger one, so you can find it.
सर
Then browsers, yeah.
सर सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट सर, इसका मतलब ये है कि archive.is और archive.org से हम कैश डाटा लेके कोई भी साइट में अपना बग जो भी है डाल सकते हैं और उसको हैक भी कर सकते हैं और वो बग को फिर इम्प्रूव भी कर सकते हैं.
नहीं, वैसा कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो आप. आर्काइव डॉट जो है कैस्ट फाइल है, कैस्ट किया हुआ फाइल है, उसका पेज का रेप्लिका क्रिएट किया हुआ. दैट्स इट, नथिंग एल्स इज देयर. And it's a secure site. It's not that you can go and host a malware there. It's difficult to do that.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
It's a cache site. Cache is a replica of the site has been created. Simple. You can create a cache file in your system. Save as. You put the right click and button save as, and you can save it. It saves in the HTML format. They also save it in HTML format, but they save it, make it retrievable actually. There are a lot of interesting, add-on browser add-ons and extensions are there for image searches and other things. I don't promote it because they all come with the bugs and they disclose your identity. Okay. There is something known as Google Bot. It's a mobile friendly search engine of Google. Very interestingly, it provides you a lot of insightful information actually. AdSense and analytics, they are very powerful tool. It provides significant amount of information about the behavior of the user who has come to your website. And it provides significant amount of analytics data. So suppose if you have enabled AdSense and analytics in your website, there is significant amount of information you can collect about the person who visit your website. And in addition to that, there is something known as JMeter. I don't know, any one of you have seen JMeter? Any one of you heard what JMeter?
Yes, in previous classes you have talked about.
It's a built-in, as a part of the Apache, community. It's a very powerful mode. Mostly it is used for load testings, load test analysis, but it also provides you so many other information about the website and the behavior of the user who visits your website. It becomes very interesting part of the journey. So those things also provide significant amount of open source intelligence information for tracking down who are the bad people who are visiting your websites and other things. So if some accident has happened, as analysis, you can utilize that actually, those information. If the logs are saved, the JMeter informations are saved, AdSense informations are by default, it is saved. Those information can become a handy tool for investigation. And all these things you can, integrate with Python actually. That's the beauty of, the Python. So It's a very interesting one, the builtwith.com, type it out and go and visit that website. It's a very interesting one. It creates a very interesting relationship of any website, and it provides your relationship profile. But you need to show some common IP address for this host. Once you show that, then anything else, information, they will search it and find out and say, very interesting Google Analytics, UA code used for multiple sites. And it creates a very nice relationships, like this. The CSR file used, provides significant amount of information. HTTPS present, TLS or SSL certificate to browsers. It's all there for connecting encrypted connections, okay? Many times this certificate provides you significant of information about the people, the organizations, the website who is hosting that. This information can be a good piece of information for your investigation on the web page. If you are not aware about, CSR is a file, it is used to generate certificate for governing certificate authority. When you create a new website, you need to, if you want to have SSL built in, you'll have to use the CSR file. And many stupid time, the CSR files are kept there on the same web page, web servers, and it is exploited by the attackers. So just be careful, how you use CSR files actually. This provides significant amount of information about that. Okay, so what's time now? It's 8:54. I think let's break here. I'm feeling a little tight today. Give me just 1 second.